Hello everyone, hope you are all doing great. In this video, I am going to show you how I painted my niece and nephew's bedroom. This is my first experience of painting a wall. We started with deciding a theme and then we chose the paint color and moved forward. I learned a lot of new things as a first timer and I am going to share with you the tips and how things turned out. If you are a first timer, don't feel overwhelmed with the details. I'll share all the product used and step-by-step method we followed in detail on my blog. Now sit back and enjoy the video. Click that subscribe button and the notification bell for more videos like this. Preparing the room for painting. Before starting to paint, we first removed the doors, blinds, closet doors, switch plates and everything. Then I used Scotch glue painter's tape to cover the door, window trim, closet trims and also the switch plate areas. Once the painter's tape job is done, it's time to cover the floors. The bedroom had carpet floors and there are many products available in the market to cover the carpet floor specifically. But we used just a canvas drop cloth and a plastic sheet on top. I also used painter's tape directly on the carpet while painting the bottom of doors and also the closet baseboards. And coming to the baseboards, initially the plan was the contractor promised to remove all the baseboards and the heating elements before we start the painting process. Since it got delayed and my trip was planned, my sister and brother-in-law said they will take care of painting that part alone later. So that's why you will see the baseboards and the heating elements as such in this video. So now let's move on to the next step. Filling the holes and sanding. The next step is to fill all the nail holes that the previous person lived there made. So we were too enthusiastic and jumped right into the painting process and only then realized that we omitted that step. So learn from our mistake. You will think that you might not see the small holes and may feel like this is an extra step, but we noticed a lot of small holes while painting. So I made sure to fill all the holes in the next room we planned to paint using 3M high strength small hole repair speckling compound and allowed it to dry. Then I used a sanding sponge to slightly sand the speckled area to a smooth surface. Once the sanding is done, the next thing is to paint the walls. Painting the walls. The paint color we chose is from Sherwin-Williams, Coral Perfection. Here are a few tips from my experience. Always get a quart of paint extra than you think you need if you want to avoid taking multiple trips to the store. Though the can said 1 coat coverage, it took 2 to 3 coats for a complete coverage. One other thing to consider here is, since it's a big project and all of us were first timers, the way the professional painters do and how we do is totally different. So you need to consider that in mind while purchasing the quantity of paint. Don't worry about the paint getting wasted. If there is an extra unopened can, the store will gladly accept the returns. At least in the Lowe's that we went, they did accept. Check about the store policy while purchasing. What we came to know is after coming home, for some reason, if you don't like the shade you purchased and if you have only used a small bit for testing, take the can to the store and they will gladly exchange it for a different shade or refund you the money if you don't want it. This is totally a news to me. For some reason, I always thought that paint cans can't be returned once we purchase. Comment yes if you thought the same. To fasten things up, we tried a paint sprayer while starting to paint my nephew room. But the paint sprayer did not work well. I will link it below in case you want to avoid getting it. If you are choosing to do a lot of paint projects around the house, go for a name brand paint sprayer. I'll include a few in the description below for you to check it out. Then the other thing that I learned is, if you want to match the same color of the wall paint you already have at home, scrape a little bit of paint using a utility knife and take that piece to the store to color match. They will match the color and make you custom paint. You can go back for corrections if it doesn't match after you test it. Okay, now let's move on to the actual painting. We used angled paint brushes and rollers to paint the walls. Since it's our first time, we were extremely careful and switched off the power in the room while we are working, just to be on the safer side. That's why you will see shadows while I'm working at night. Painting with rollers needed some arm strength and it was little tiring compared to painting with brushes. When using the rollers, For painting the corners, the top of the wall from the ceiling for about 2 inches or so, and for the bottom, I used an angled brush, and then my husband, brother-in-law and my sister, everyone pitched in to help when it's time to paint with the rollers. This is done as the rollers can't be used at the edges. After 2 to 3 coatings of paint, we let it dry overnight. It took around 2 to 3 days to completely finish a room, from the prep work to painting the trim, which included doors, trims, and putting back everything like switch plates, decals, etc. Now let's talk about the interesting part of the makeover, the butterfly tree. My niece wanted butterflies and no pink or purple in her room, so this was her design requirements. So after looking into many butterfly designs that I sent her, she chose a name sign which you might have seen in my previous video. If not, click the cards above or link in the description to check it out. And a butterfly tree. I was in a dilemma about choosing the colors for butterfly. I wasn't very keen about butterflies looking realistic in this aspect, as I felt the design will have too much details and had a feeling that it will not look good. But I couldn't decide if I should stick to just one shade of butterflies or make it colorful. As everyone at home voted for the colorful option, I went ahead and made a bunch of colorful butterflies in different actions to fill the tree. To draw the tree trunk, I used a strip of painter's tape as a guide and used pencil to draw outline of the tree trunk and branches. And then I used a small size brush to draw the trunk and branches using the brown wall paint in same Excel finish from Sherwin-Williams. Once the paint is dry, I stuck the butterfly decals all around the tree trunk and stuck some as if it was flying from the tree to the name sign with flowers to suck the honey from the flowers. I ended the butterflies there. We all loved how the butterfly tree together with the sign turned out. While working on the butterfly decal, parallelly we removed all the plastic sheets that we covered the windows and stick the painter's tape on the edges of the trim and inside of the window to paint the trim. After 2 to 3 coating of white paint in semi-gloss finish, we removed the painter's tape for the room to be finally done. If you have baseboards, this is when you will do the baseboards too. Here is the final reveal of the room. Here's the before . And after. Next, for my nephew's room, our initial idea was to make the room as a football field and draw a football in the middle. Due to the time constraint, we decided to switch to do a single color paint and drew a football where his bed will be. To draw the football, I made a cross using painter's tape and used a pencil to draw an outline of the football. I wish I made the template in a craft paper or something like that and used it to trace it on the wall, but I managed with what I had on hand. I used the same brown paint that I used for tree trunk in my niece's room to fill the football shape. We also got some white custom paint to cover some areas around the house, and I used that paint for the 2 white strips on the football. For the stitch and the name, I cut my own decals using my electronic cutting machine. As he is from Massachusetts, he wanted his name in New England Patriots team color and font. So I made it like that to complete his room decor. We had planned to include some more wall decals for his room. As there was no time, my cousin decided to do all the other things whenever she gets done. Hope you liked these room makeovers and got to learn something from this video. Do share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Catch you all next time with another craft idea. Until then, bye, take care.